In the high Himalayas, where silence speaks louder than words, lies a valley carved by time itself, Spiti, a desert mountain world where every bend reveals a story. Today, the journey takes us to villages where altitude meets eternity. This is episode 4 of my Spiti Valley journey. Dhankar, a monastery that has defied time and gravity for over 1,000 years. Once the capital of Spiti, it rises from the cliff like a vision, holding the valley in silent watch. Even today, 11 families still call this cliff their home, living lives as precarious and beautiful as the mountains themselves. Every step here is an effort. At over 12,000 feet, the air thins, oxygen slips away, and your body starts to feel the weight of the mountain. But with each breathless climb, the views grow larger, the silence deeper, until finally you stand where earth meets the sky. And in that moment, high above the valley, I shared a cup of sea buckthorn tea with my husband, tangy, citrusy, and alive with the wildness of these mountains. A simple drink, but at that altitude, on that cliff, it became a memory etched deep in my heart, one of those rare core memories you know will stay forever. Leaving Dhankar, the road itself is an adventure. A narrow ribbon of dust and stone carved into the mountains that crumbles at the edges. On one side, the cliff rises like a wall, on the other, it drops steeply into the Spiti River, reminding you that here every journey is as fragile as it is beautiful. And here we are in Kaza. Down in the valley, life gathers in Kaza, the pulse of Spiti. Here travelers rest, stories are exchanged over steaming momos, and the rhythm of modern life weaves gently into the timeless mountains. Kaza will be our home for the next 2 days as we go explore the villages nearby. High above Kaza lies Langza, a village frozen in time. At nearly 14,500 feet, it is known as the fossil village of Spiti. Millions of years ago, this land lay under the Tethys Sea. Today, its slopes still hide the imprints of seashells and marine life, reminders that these mountains were once an ocean floor. Life here is simple yet extraordinary. Fewer than 150 people call Langza home. Their days shaped by the rhythm of farming, prayer, and the mountains that guard them. And keeping watch over it all, a colossal Buddha. From his seat, he gazes endlessly across the valley, not at the people below, but perhaps at time itself. A silent reminder of peace in a landscape shaped by extremes. Standing here, I felt both tiny and infinite at the same time, surrounded by fossils older than history, mountains older than memory, and a silence that felt like it could last forever. Langza is not just a village, it's a glimpse into Earth's past and perhaps into our own. Komic. At over 15,000 feet, this is one of the highest motorable villages in the world. The Komic Museum. is a tiny museum, humble in size yet vast in history. Here are centuries old manuscripts, ritual masks, and even ancient weapons once used by the monastery's protectors. Each artifact tells a story of survival. And then something unexpected, the world's highest restaurant. Here at 15,000 feet, a simple bowl of Maggi or a plate of momo becomes a luxury. The air is thin, the view is endless, and the warmth of food shared here feels like the highest form of comfort. The Dhankar Monastery, one of the highest monasteries in India, stands here like a fortress of faith. With its thick walls and stark architecture, it looks less like a place of worship and more like a guardian of the mountains. In Comic, everything is extreme: the altitude, the silence, the resilience, and the beauty. It's not just the highest village on earth, it's a reminder of how high the human spirit can reach. Hikkim, a tiny village nestled at 14,400 feet, where time seems to move as slowly as the thin mountain air. But hidden here is something extraordinary: the world's highest post office. For decades, this humble building has connected one of the remotest corners of the Himalayas to the rest of the world. Letters written here travel down winding mountain roads across plains and oceans, carrying with them the heartbeat of Spiti. As I wrote a message to my loved ones on a postcard, it felt like it wasn't just paper and ink. It was a piece of this moment, this altitude, this silence, carried far away to someone I love. A memory that would outlast me, traveling miles that I may never walk myself. In a world where messages fly instantly through screens, Hikkim teaches us the power of waiting and the beauty of knowing that somewhere a letter still takes the long road home. Key Monastery. Rising above the Spiti River at nearly 13,700 feet, Key Monastery is the crown jewel of this valley. Built over thousands of years ago, it has survived invasions, fires, and earthquakes, yet it still stands, guarding the mountains like a timeless sentinel. Inside its labyrinth of rooms lie ancient scriptures, priceless tankas, and stories whispered across generations of monks. This is a living museum of faith. But reaching here is not easy. At this altitude, the air feels thinner with every step. My chest grew heavy, each breath a struggle. I made it only as far as the entrance gate, where the prayer flags fluttered like guardians of the threshold. Beyond this point, the mountain reminded me of my limits. My husband, however, carried the journey forward, stepping into the sacred halls I could only imagine. He walked among centuries of devotion, murals that hold stories of gods and protectors, manuscripts that had survived centuries, and monks whose chants seemed to dissolve into the silence of the valley. And so, Key Monastery became two memories for us: one of standing at the gate, humbled by the mountain, and the other of stepping inside its heart. Together, those memories complete the story of a place where faith rises higher than breath itself. By evening, we made our way back from Key to Kaza. That night in Kaza, the sky unfolded like a secret. Stars twinkled, they blazed. The Milky Way stretched across the heavens, so close it felt like we could reach out and touch it. Between two cliffs carved by time lies the Chicham Bridge, the highest suspension bridge in Asia. Beneath it, a gorge so deep it makes your heart race just to look down. For the people of Chicham village, this bridge is a lifeline. For us, it was pure adrenaline. Dhankar, Kaza, Langza, Komic, Hikkim, Chicham, each place a fragment of Spiti's soul. Together, they remind us that life at the roof of the world is not about conquering the mountains, but about learning to live with them, to listen, to breathe, to simply be. We stand at the edge of our journey, the last and the most awaited chapter, a place where legends sleep, where the moon touches the earth. Don't miss the final episode as we end our Spiti journey at the magical lake. See you in the next one.